3318 Toms, and today we're going to review the round roof boxcar from Lionel. This boxcar came out in 2012, and it's just a beautiful boxcar, and I'm going to tell some history behind it today. And this is a redo of my crappy video because now I have a tablet to use. So anyways, this is the round roof boxcar from Lionel, made in 2012. I have a comparison model of the PS1 there, and it was a very unique car for the Northern Pacific. They used it mainly for lumber and plywood service, and these were leased in the 60s. So as you could tell, in the early 60s, many railroads did not have many good doors to use, like the PS1 here in the 60s. You know, that's how big the doors were, and they started improving them eventually, and they'd get there, but at the time this was it. This was definitely good for pallet loading and forklifts, and that's what they mainly used it for. These were mainly in the Pacific Northwest, and they were leased from the Detroit, Toledo, and Ironton Railway. And these used to have a stencil mark right up in here. And what intentionally happened is the Northern Pacific bought them all. They bought all the boxcars from the Detroit, Toledo, Ironton leasing leasing company. I think when the lease expired, they just said, "Forget it, we'll buy them all." And that was about 300 cars. And the funny part is they only, to make a return on their leasing investment they only needed to run these things about once a year, which is really hilarious if you ask me, because that was about a $210 lease for a year, and that was pretty good, you know, especially for a box car like this. I found that funny. So on my layout, it runs basically not that well. It runs a lot more, but I mainly use it for lumber service on my layout. And the NP bought these, and they bought some 50-footers too, and they also leased from the Norfolk and Western Railway in the late 60s. And so they retired a lot of these cars, because these cars were built in 1937. There's a stencil mark on it right down here that shows you that date from 1937, and that's when they were built. So they were really not in their best interest to repair them for the Northern Pacific. They were repaired out in the Pacific Northwest. I think one of the shops was Livingston, if I remember right, and that's where they replaced things on them, but it just wasn't worth it. And by 1969, it dwindled down to about 138 cars, I believe, which isn't that many. So these were kind of a rare car, and plus they're 40-foot, so they weren't as useful. And once the NP built their 50-foot box cars out of Brainerd shops, these weren't really needed anymore, although they still were used. Some unique features. Obviously, it's called the round roof boxcar for a reason. I've been flipping back and forth. If we look here, we see the rounded part of the boxcar there, and this was all metal. The whole top was metal, and they'd have to use cement from rain to get it from seeping in. And we compare it to a PS1 boxcar, where you see the square roof there and going all across. The ribbing's the same on them, preferably. Sorry, and it's the way they were, and they were the 3900 series boxcar from Lot, and you can pick them up on eBay still. And I definitely get this car if you're just like trains, or in general me, who focuses on the NP aspect of them. I really like the NP, so I'm an NP modeler, and this was a must-have car once I saw it, because I was like, well, this is a unique car the NP owned, and you'll have to pick yours up today. Thanks for watching.